Alrighty, so I'm gonna show you my triggers. On camera. Alright, this is the setup I mainly use. Let me do it this way. I'm going to show you why I prefer the Timney shoe over the Johnny Glock shoe. I'm going to drop a few things on the floor along the way. And then we'll get into it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll make sure I answer them. I'm usually pretty good at it. Mix these up, even though they're not the same. Alrighty. So I use the Glock performance trigger housing. So you got the Glock performance trigger housing in there. You still got the trigger bar for the Glock performance trigger, because you gotta have a little piece in the bottom that catches the spring and make sure it's working. So I think I got a dot connector on my Timney, and it's just actually no, it's just a normal Gen 5 connector. That's what it is. Okay, on both of them. And the little spring in here is a little Gen 5 spring as well. So the only difference is I take a pair of side cutters or whatever, and the two cools that actually touch each other, that are close to each other, I clip those off and put it on the little pin that it comes on, and I squeeze it so it won't come off. The piece I cut, I always put towards the little T part, not the part that fits into this piece here. All right, and so one reason I prefer the Timney is the adjustable shoes. Both of these shoes are adjustable, but one of them's adjustable for take up and the other one's adjustable for over travel. You can see they have it's a big difference right here in how much flex you can get in them, because Johnny Glock makes his, the take up is already pretty much taken out of it. Is what he feels comfortable. But what he does is he puts his set screw in the back. So if you put the set screw in the back, it's really hard to see, but if you screw this in any to where you can see that set screw, so any adjustment that screw would be useful for, it makes the trigger dead. Like it won't pull and it won't break, and then you just have to take the slide off and do the whole shebang and unscrew it. And I mean, I like the shoe for what it is. It gets extremely hot when you shoot a bunch of rounds through it. Other than that, I mean, it's decent. I wish the set screw was in a different location. See, the Timney puts his in the front. My camera won't zoom. I've been working so my hands are dirty, sorry. I'm a plumber. And so with the set screw in the front, you can take up as much of it out as you want. And like if you go too far though, you'll have a dangerous trigger where it'll fire, and then when you go to reset it, you can push it forward and it'll fire again, because it takes so much out that it takes you off of this shelf here. And that I mean, some people might think that's a feature, but I don't want to accidentally push my trigger forward and the round go off. So that's pretty much it. No, it's easy to get these out. You just, this one I actually butchered because it actually came on a full Timney trigger kit. And so it's like a set pin. They do sell one that's just the shoe itself, and it comes with set screws like the Johnny Glock. And another reason I don't like the Johnny Glock is if you don't pay attention to that set screw, it'll yeet itself right out and you'll never find it, and then you'll have to try to find another one or contact Johnny Glock. And both of these were the triggers that had the springs on them to help the reset. But when you put that Gen 5 spring in there and just a Gen 5 connector, like the reset is immaculate. Everybody that shoots these triggers loves them. The next video I have, I'm going to the range. It's on my birthday this Wednesday. And the guy that runs the range, I'll let him explain it to you and tell you how good it is. I'll let everybody at my local gun store try it, and they seem to like it a whole lot. And in my opinion, it's the best Glock trigger I ever felt. But yeah, you get a lot more wiggle with the Timney, but once you put it in there, it's tight. And this one right here, you can't take all the take up out of it, so you'll have a little play in it. I'll put them back in and then we'll show you. But in my opinion, that set screw being the right way for the chimney is what makes it so good. Like maybe the Johnny Glocks would work on not a highly modified trigger system, or maybe not a Glock performance trigger system, because the shoe is actually made for the chimney trigger, but I didn't like it in the chimney. I don't really like the chimney that much. I mean, it's actually like one of the better triggers, but for what I want the best Glock trigger I can make, to be honest with you. And I feel like I can make one a lot better than when you can buy. And plus the Johnny Glock whole setup, if you get the whole setup, that thing's like $400. And for polished Glock OEM parts, I'm not paying $400. I mean, I ain't never had one of his whole kits to see how well it felt, but in my opinion, this one right here, you can't beat it. So let's come right here. This one has no take up. And I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So the Johnny Glock one, like I said, it's not bad. I definitely prefer it over other triggers, for sure. You see, you got a bunch of take up, which I mean, it's probably better for safe. Somebody's calling me, don't you fuck my video up. Get the break, reset, break, reset. It's actually a decent trick, but like I said, pay attention to that screw. It'll yeet, this one right here, it'll yeet itself out. And every time I go shoot this gun, I tighten that screw before I go, so it don't yeet itself out. And then if you shoot more than 100 rounds through this thing, this trigger shoe will start to get hot. Like, I mean, really, really hot. I guess it's what it's made out of, I'm not sure. And it just holds the heat, and it's actually a little wider, so you might feel it more than the chimney. The chimney is more of a flat surface, but in my opinion, you got no take up, just as close to a 2011 trigger as you'll get on a hinge trigger like this. The Johnny Glock, like I said, it's fine and dandy, and it probably would be better on the trigger it was made for, because it's made to go on the whole chimney setup, and maybe that's why the set screw is not adjustable, because I got it on the Glock Performance trigger. But the Glock Performance trigger and the chimney setup is kind of the same principle, where it's a pre-cocked striker fired gun. And so like, instead of having to pull and cock it, it's already there. So all you have to do is release it, and it sends the striker home. But this one you can get a real fast. And another thing with this one, if you adjust it too much, like I said, it'll be dangerous, because like once you pull it out in the front, it'll go off. Like just any movement that way, it'll go off. Or if you go like too far, you obviously come off the shelf, and it can be dangerous. And then you get to a point where you can make it where it won't fire like the Johnny Glocks, where it's too far in. And also another thing I didn't show you, hold on. Pin's a little tighter because the modifications made to this one. This one's, I just put about 1,000 rounds through the homemade flush fit comp, and I've had no issues. It doesn't like 115s anymore, but as long as you shoot 124 grain, you'll be just fine. So I butchered it because I don't care, I'm not a perfectionist. But so you gotta take some of the safety tab and make sure if you do this, it still actually works. Because once I put it in, I'll show you that it works again. But you gotta take some out, because if not, it'll already be past that point. And then like you'll just, you won't have the safety tab and it won't work like it's supposed to. But yeah, make sure, I just used a little file. You can probably do it a lot cleaner than I did, but at the time I was kind of tired of attempting and just messing around and seeing what I could get. And I was preferring that one there until I got this one how I wanted it. So my plans are to order another shoe, but I'm gonna get an all black shoe. They only sell them through Midway, so if you want the all black shoe, you gotta order it through Midway, and you actually gotta order the whole kit. And I seen them on sale for like $100 one day, and I was like, nah, I'll wait and try to see if I can get the all black, just a shoe, and come to find out I can't. Now they're back up to $170. And just for me to be throwing away pretty much the whole house, and I don't know if I want to spend $170 just on a shoe. All right, YouTube don't like this part. So you can still see that I'm pushing this and it will not go off. And then the safety ding, it will go off. So still make sure your Glock safe. And I got, like I said, right around 1,000 rounds through this. We shot probably 500 rounds the other day, but I would imagine at least 150 was through my bull armor, SAS TAC 2 4.25, but the majority of it was through this, because the guy at the range, he wants me to make him one, so he's gonna be giving me his 17 frame, and I'm gonna make him one, and then once he gets it made, I'll probably have a video. Well, once I get it made, I'll have a video shooting his as well, and then we'll see how it works. And I don't plan on offering any services or anything like that. I'm just doing this for him. But like I do have that video that kind of explains what you need to do to make it work. And if you got any mechanical skills, it won't be hard. But this is by far my favorite Glock setup. It's just like, I don't know, to me it's better than a Canic trigger, Walther trigger, the dynamic trigger, and I mean it's pretty much flawless. But like I was saying earlier, if you go too far in, it'll start giving you hiccups where it don't want to reset, because it doesn't travel enough to want to reset for some reason. And if you use the full length Gen 5 spring, it'll push the performance trigger, whatever it is in the housing that stops the striker. I don't know what the name of it is. But it'll push it so high that when you rack it, it'll feel like you're getting stuck halfway, and then you do it. But under fire, it'll be fine. But like every once in a while, you'll get a lot more trigger freeze is what I found. So I got set at the perfect point where there's really no take up. And as short as I feel comfortable with it. And I mean, because I had it like this at one point in time where because you see that little bit of movement so far back that it would snap. But yeah, that's my Glock. Frankenstein 45X. Everybody I let see it loves it. Everybody I let shoot loves it. Got the sprinkle pattern. I had one guy say, oh, that looks rough. That was my intention. I want it to fit my hand as well as possible. I got the double undercuts in there. It's not perfect, but it works for me. I kind of did it more for a right-handed shooter, so a left-handed shooter probably wouldn't like this as much because I don't even have the gas pedal on this side. But in my opinion, you can't beat this right here. And if you just already had the optic, already had the 19 and already had the 17, you could make this a lot cheaper, but I went out and bought all these parts to make it. And so after the modifications, if you do the modifications and the stippling and all that stuff yourself, you'd probably be in at around $2,000 if you went out and bought everything. Because both guns are $600. The optic, the light, this trigger shoes. This trigger you can get the shoe for $75, $80. The Glock Performance trigger for, I think it's $100. Sometimes you catch them on sale for $80. It just depends. And then it ain't hard to put the two and two together. In my opinion, you can't beat it. But hopefully I have some more videos shooting it. And at the range this week, I'll let the other guys try to explain it to you, let you know how good it is. And for $200, shoot, I ain't spending 400 on a Glock performance trigger or whatever it is from Johnny Glock when it can't be that much better. Like it literally can't. And the guy that he does competition shooting is the guy that runs the range, and he was like, man, you gotta train with that trigger, because I mean it ain't like a 1 pound, 2 pound triggers, but it's under 3 pounds for sure. If you like my videos, let me know. I ain't no expert at this, but I love guns. I love to have fun. God, family guns. Let's get it.